Hello friends, so welcome back to my YouTube channel, that is Mechanical Engineering Make Easy. In that we are today we are going to study thermodynamics, second law of thermodynamics. Okay, so in shorts video I have covered first law of thermodynamics, and in detail I will come up with that first law of thermodynamics also. But now my focus is second law of thermodynamics and entropy. Today we are going to discuss second law of thermodynamics. So what exactly second law of thermodynamics? Second law gives us the difference, qualitative difference between work and heat, means which is high grade energy, which is low grade energy, and how we are going to convert amount of heat into work, amount of work into heat. So that qualitative difference between heat and work, that exactly second law says to us. Okay, so just consider one figure here, or one cyclic process, that a boiler is there from where we are supplying say Q1 heat. Okay, and after supplying heat, that steam will go to turbine, and turbine will produce some work, and after that we will reject some heat to condenser. This will be Q2, which will be rejected to environment or any another fluid. And here pump, here also we supply some amount of work. Okay, so this is one simplest cycle that I have considered here. In this cycle we can you can imagine that we are supplying Q1 amount of energy, say 100 joule of energy. Okay, 100 joule of energy, but turbine will not produce exactly 100 joule of work. Okay, turbine will produce nearly 60 to 70 joule of work only. Okay, remaining what amount of energy we have supplied, for example 30 to 40 joule, that will be rejected to surrounding. Okay, with the help of this condenser. Okay, so that will be rejected. So why this is happening? As we are supplying 100 joule of energy, but at the output we are getting only 60 to 70 joule of work. Means we are supplying 100 joule of heat energy, but we are getting only 60 to 70% of that into converted into work. So this happens because of irreversibility in the process. Okay, because of irreversibility, because of different losses, and this concept exactly comes into picture because of second law of thermodynamics. Okay, so what exactly concept second law of thermodynamics tells us that you may understood here. And then work, if there is work, then work can be totally converted into heat. Okay, but that is not the case in case of heat. In case of heat, heat cannot be converted totally converted into work. So we can say that work is high grade energy and heat is low grade energy. Okay, so work is high grade energy and heat is low grade energy. Then yes, so in case of this, as we are rejecting some heat, so ultimately the efficiency will play a role here. So what exactly efficiency? That is net work upon heat supplied, that will be Q1. So net work will be turbine work minus pump work, because pump work we are supplying, so that we need to minus from this turbine work. Okay, so this is nothing but efficiency. So efficiency parameter comes into picture because of second law of thermodynamics. Okay, so we'll just study the two statements are there, like Kelvin Planck, and another is Clausius statement. So we'll just study that. Both statements are mutually interconvertible, but only the difference is that they stated for different cases. That's why the two statements are there. Likewise, first is Kelvin Planck statement. So what exactly Kelvin Planck statement is nothing but it is impossible for a heat engine to produce net work in a complete cycle if it exchanges heat only with the body at a single fixed temperature. Means just consider one uh, heat engine. Okay, this is one heat engine, and what it is doing, it is taking heat from this heat reservoir. Okay, and producing work. So it is impossible to any heat engine to take heat from only one single reservoir and produce work. So there should be one another heat sink also. to reject heat. Okay, so what Kelvin Planck statement says that there should be this another heat sink also to reject some heat, then only the work will be produced, and that work will also be less than what amount of heat we have supplied. This is nothing but Kelvin Planck statement says. Ultimately the statement will be same, the concept will be same of all the statements. Okay, so heat cannot be totally converted into work, so ultimately heat supplied cannot be totally converted into work. We should uh, reject some heat to another heat sink. Okay, this will have say T1 which will be greater than T2, this will have T2. Okay, so ultimately we should have one heat sink to reject heat. This is nothing but Kelvin Planck statement. And next is Clausius statement. What actually Clausius statement is, it is impossible to construct a device which operates on a cycle which produces no effect other than heat transfer from cooler to hotter body. Means that is heat cannot happen, heat transfer cannot happen between low temperature body to high temperature body. Means it is saying about refrigeration effect. Okay, so we'll just consider here, say for example, this is one body which have temperature T1. Okay, and maybe this is one our refrigerator, just consider it, and this have temperature T2. Heat is flowing from T1 to T2 and T1 is less than T2. Okay, so it is impossible to any machine to take heat from low temperature reservoir and give that heat to high temperature reservoir without consuming any external work. This is nothing but Clausius statement. And how we are going to uh, transfer from low temperature to high temperature? Simply we need to give some amount of work, we need to supply some amount of work, and this becomes now refrigeration cycle. That is nothing but we will supply here compressor work. Okay, compressor work we will supply, and ultimately we will get that from lower temperature reservoir we can transfer it to higher temperature reservoir. This is nothing but Clausius statement. So if you are facing any problem in understanding, then you can ask me in comment box. You can join my Telegram channel also. And next is concept is nothing but reversibility and irreversibility. This is also because of second law of thermodynamics comes into picture, that is reversibility and irreversibility. What happens if there is any process, what exactly reversibility and what exactly irreversibility, that I will show you here. For example, this is xy plane and here process is happening from point 1 to this is point 2. Okay, process is happening in this direction. So at the initial all the properties at point 1, and after that final state is point 2. But what exactly reversibility is, if we are able to reach from 2 to 1 again without giving any extra energy to the system, then that system is called as reversible system or reversible process. Okay, if there is any process which is reached to final destination, but after that also we can come to initial destination without supplying any extra energy. This is nothing but reversible process or reversibility. And what is irreversibility? Because of number of reasons, we are not able to reach from second position to first position without supplying any extra energy. This is nothing but our irreversible process or irreversibility. So we'll just consider number of causes of irreversibility here. Okay, so there are different causes of irreversibility. In that, first is lack of thermodynamic equilibrium. Again, in case of shorts, I have come up with thermodynamic equilibrium also. What exactly thermodynamic equilibrium? If the body is in chemical, thermal and mechanical equilibrium, if these three equilibriums are satisfied, the body says that in a thermodynamic equilibrium. If body is not in a thermodynamic equilibrium, then ultimately the process will become irreversible. Then next is irreversibility due to dissipative effects. There are different dissipative effects that we say that heat losses or loss of energy takes place. because of friction. Okay, because of friction, then because of viscosity, the boundary layer formation and that occurs. Then after that, magnetic hysteresis. Magnetic hysteresis also one kind of dissipative effect because of this energy loss take place. Then next is inelasticity. Then next is electrical resistance. So these some 5 to 6 I have noted down. That is nothing but viscosity, friction, hysteresis, then inelasticity, and electrical resistance. So there are a number of reasons, but these 5 reasons are too much common. And another reason, that is nothing but lack of thermodynamic equilibrium. This is very main reason, that is lack of thermodynamic equilibrium. And what exactly, if any process is reversible, then ultimately, for example, this is 1 and 2, this process is reversible, then this process at any point of on this curve, that process will be in thermodynamic equilibrium, or we say that quasi-static process. Quasi-static process. If any process which is moving in a form of quasi-static process, means at any point of that curve or at any intermittent stage of that process, the body is in thermodynamic equilibrium, then that process is quasi-static process. And if process have to be reversible, then that process should be quasi-static process. Only quasi-static process is reversible process, but naturally there is no any process which is reversible process. Okay, all processes have some amount of irreversibility included into that. So this is what about causes of irreversibility, reversibility and irreversibility. If you are facing again any confusion, any doubt, then you can ask me comment box. You can uh, join me on Instagram also. There also you can ask me doubts. Then as we know, maximum work produced, if there is quasi-static process or reversible process, then the work produced will be maximum. Okay, ultimately what happens, we have studied previously also in that cycle that I have drawn. Firstly, we need to reject some heat, then only because of that what happens, ultimately the amount of work decreases. And if there is a reversible process, then there will not be any need to reject heat. So ultimately work will be generated which will be have maximum value. That's why if there is reversible process, then W will be W max. And after that, types of irreversibility. There are mainly two types of irreversibility, that is nothing but internal irreversibility and external irreversibility. So what exactly internal irreversibility? Internal irreversibility is nothing but irreversibility because of internal dissipative effects like friction and turbulence, etc. within the system. Means, for example, this is one body, okay, and because as this is one body and this is moving, so ultimately the friction will occur here. Okay, and as friction occurs, this is the kind of internal irreversibility. Okay, and external irreversibility is nothing but because of irreversibility occurring at the boundary of the system. Okay, if any system and irreversibility occurs along this boundary of the system, then that kind of irreversibility is nothing but external irreversibility. Means ultimately there may be some amount of energy transfer from system to surrounding. That's why at the boundary the irreversibility is occurring. Okay, and that's why this is the case of external irreversibility. So this is what I have designed for today's lecture, and in next lecture I am coming with entropy. So stay tuned for that and we will meet again. Thank you friends. And for numericals you should refer other books like PK is also better. So you can refer a number of books there. I am only going to cover here concepts and formulas. Other for practice and that you have to do that. Okay, thank you friends. We will meet again.